Hi. So, what is mindfulness practice and what are the considerations and benefits to Christians? I'm Brian Purcell with Brian Purcell Counseling, and I just wanted to briefly go over some of the key considerations, some of the benefits of mindfulness practice for Christians. And so, to start off, I just want to provide a brief overview of what mindfulness is and what it's not, uh, a Christian perspective on the practice, and hopefully outline a couple of benefits. So, just really quickly, I want to go over what mindfulness isn't. Now, typically, the term refers to just a general consciousness of things. And mindfulness practice certainly involves conscious awareness of what's going on. Um, but that doesn't go far enough when we're trying to talk about or when trying to explain what mindfulness is. But real quick, mindfulness is not Buddhism or transcendental meditation. So, for the Christians out there, if we approach mindfulness carefully in the right way, like with any other sort of activity or exercise in life, we're not going to be flirting with some kind of other religion. It's also not just simply deep breathing or relaxation, guided imagery. It's not hypnosis, and as I alluded, it's not specific to a religion or one culture. And most importantly, it's not about clearing the mind. It's not about a rigid set of rules that we have to follow. So, what is mindfulness exactly? Um, some other ways that mindfulness is often referred to are mindful awareness, present moment awareness, and being in the moment or in the here and now. So, you might hear those terms and expressions used interchangeably. Mindfulness is really a way of being. It's a way of interacting with what's happening right now. And what's happening right now could be what's going on inside of your mind and in your body, but it's also what's going on around you outside of the mind and body. And so it's a particular stance that we take with those experiences. And it's sort of like forming a different relationship with our thoughts, our feelings, the circumstances that are going on in our life, the things that are out of our direct control. So it's kind of moving from a rigid, controlling, resistant stance with what's going on internally and externally to a more open and curious and accepting stance or disposition, which allows us to focus a lot more on what we value and the things that are in our control in our lives, and therefore eliminates the unnecessary pain and struggle and suffering in our life. Really, sort of struggling against what already is. Some common and general definitions that I use from time to time and that I like. Number one, paying attention to the present moment with openness and curiosity. Mindfulness, generally defined or simply defined, can just be that. It's paying attention to what's happening right now with openness and curiosity. Number two, paying attention as best as one can to the present moment, moment by moment, without judgment. That's really just another way of saying the first definition. It's sort of saying the same thing. Three, being aware of what's happening right now, enjoying the pleasant moments without holding on when it changes, because it will, and being with the unpleasant moments without fearing it will always be this way, because again, it will change. And then finally, another definition that I like, and this is a quote. Uh, Practice of paying attention to the present moment with intentionality, openness, and non judgmental curiosity, a direct awareness of experience as it unfolds moment by moment. So, from a Christian perspective, mindfulness is really just all of those stances that we take with our internal experience and the world around us, everything that I just explained, but with a Christ centered focus and perspective. Just like anything else that we incorporate in our lives or that we engage in that we would call Christian, such as Christian school, Christian music, books, etc. Mindfulness can be Christ centered as well. And just like all of those things, mindfulness can be practiced and used without a Christ centered focus. But from a Christian perspective, it's the sort of recognition that God is in everything, He's everywhere, He's working in and through all of the things that we experience, whether pleasant or unpleasant, whether they're painful or enjoyable, whether we're on the mountaintop or in the valley. And it's just an awareness of God's presence and movement and activity, sovereignty and providence and all of those things. Really, the scripture that says, "Be still and know that I am God," really encapsulates Christian mindfulness quite nicely. It's really taking the time to to pay attention, to notice the thoughts and feelings and urges and sensations that are going on in our body and what's going on around us, and recognizing and knowing that God is present in and through all of those things, and creating a little bit of distance uh, and letting go of the control just by simply activating our awareness. So we're really using the gift that God has given us to be mindfully aware. And it helps us to be reliant upon His power and His strength, so that He is the one that's supplying renewal to our thoughts, our emotions, our behavior, our relationships, our relationship with God, with others, even with ourselves, and most importantly, our souls. Uh, so there are a number of benefits to engaging in mindfulness practice. I've kind of highlighted the primary benefit for Christians, especially, which is helping us to be in tune with God and His presence, and helping us really to be obedient to His command to walk by the Spirit, to have this sort of God aware life. Just briefly, there are some other benefits to mindfulness practice in general. One is that it helps us to regulate and soothe painful and intense emotion. It helps us to reduce physical suffering. It strengthens the logical parts of our brain, the mid prefrontal cortex, which is located right behind your eyebrows, which helps us with reasoning and forethought, decision making. Again, I mentioned emotion regulation. It helps with increased attunement and attention and connection within interpersonal relationships. And probably one of the more important benefits of mindfulness practice is that it really helps to facilitate a level of acceptance with or acceptance of how life is right now versus getting caught up in all of how we think life should be, which can get us really bogged down and can get us all wrapped up in our thoughts and various predictions about the future, ruminations on the past, and that can lead to a lot of unfortunate and unnecessary suffering and pain in our life when life is already going to be full of pain and difficulty, as we know, especially as Christians. So be on the lookout for some additional videos and blogs on mindfulness practice, how to practice formally and informally. Also be on the lookout for some guided meditative meditation practices. I hope this video was helpful for you today, and I'll see you next time. Take care.